Hey, great Friday evening. It is a beautiful evening in the city of Brownsville. And I want to say it's a beautiful evening in the city of Brownsville, although I'm not sure because I haven't had a chance to go out. I've spent a lot of time on the phone, a lot of time talking to a lot of the folks out there, and a lot of times doing this campaign stuff. And so I had little time to do much of anything else. Good evening. But hey, man, no one said that running for office is ever easy, especially in the city of Brownsville. I do want to say thank you to everyone that brought food today. I got cheese, I got Whataburger, I got McDonald's, I got lo mein. Uh,
What
yeah, I got more masks in. I got candy.
the heck?
It's crazy. And thank you, everyone. And I don't want to say everyone's name because I know I'd miss out someone. So as to I truly appreciate it. Please keep on bringing me stuff because I really, really enjoy it. Violet, I really like it. Good evening, Erasmo, Frankie. Frankie, how you doing tonight?
Good evening, Erasmo. Good evening, world. Today is the day of remembrance, September 11th. I woke up this morning, Erasmo. The first thoughts on my mind was, what was I doing 19 years ago? And as I lay in bed, I posted the message, asking our community, because that is a day that we will always remember what we were doing, what we were wearing. The day is very vivid for us.
It's
It's something like if we asked another generation, where were they when they heard JFK being assassinated? So today was a day of remembrance. A lot of memories came back, somber memories. I remember that day watching the news all day. I remember crying. I really didn't know exactly what was going on, but I spent the next few days crying for the attack on our country, but more than anything, on our democracy. So today is a day of remembrance. Thank you to everybody who has served in the armed forces and who continue to serve. It is because of you that we're able to live in this beautiful, great country of ours, and also thankful for having a democratic uh, society that we live in. So thank you to all our men and women who have served, continue to serve. It is because of you that we're able to do what we do. But all in all, Erasmo, it was a good Friday. Um, had a great week. Looking forward to this weekend. I got some rounds to make throughout our city. So all in all, it was a great day for myself at Osmo. Thank you so much for
cool.
having me here.
And no, Maria Magdalena, please do not drop off goodies with Frankie. Continue to drop them off here at my office. As well, thanks for all that you do for BIZ nurses. No, thank y'all, Linda. Really, um, look, guys. Every single individual out there on campus is an important part in one way, shape, or other. And all we as a community can do is try and see the needs of our people, and try and find a solution to the things that we feel that we can. And it's very important to understand that when our elected officials fail us, you know we have no one to blame but ourselves. But we can't waddle in the pool of pity and self-hurt. We need to come up with the solutions with the resources that we have at hand. So again, I'm very, very proud of Montoya Boys Drive Through. Thank you so much for providing those N95 masks. Kevin Montoya is an amazing individual, and again, I just want to remind folks, Montoya Boys Drive Through is not in Brownsville. It is in Los Fresnos, but a lot of our folks in different parts of the city, they in our community, they share the same belief. We're all in this together, guys. And when a major organization, corporation the size of BISD with a $600 million budget cannot No, not cannot,
Does not want to.
will not provide proper PPE to my people. I'm very proud of our community. And thank you, Linda, for your kind words. All the thanks and all the praise go to Montoya Boys Drive Through. Thank you all so much for us there, you know, for always giving back to the community. And again, guys, I want to continue. And other folks brought in some other masks, and I want to continue to encourage everyone out there. Provide for each other, especially in this great time of need. Your community needs you, and our community needs our teachers. Our community needs our nurses, our food and nutritional services, our custodians, everyone out there at the district. What? And I'm going to say this, and I get tired I get tired of hearing, my opponents and all these other little uh, well-to-do people out there saying, "Well, that's what's just negative." It's not being negative, guys. As that just because they consume the entire cake, it doesn't mean that we can't have our cookies. Enough with distributing crumbs to our people and expecting us to be satisfied, to be quiet, and to be good children. Our community deserves something better than what we have right now at this moment. And in a weird way, is that in a weird way having this pandemic, having these tough times, as harsh as they may been in regards to a lot of individuals losing their life, they have brought to light the uncaring, the hurtful, the hateful nature of some of our elected officials and our people that have been placed by these elected officials in authoritative positions. So again, I'm very upset with the Brownsville Independent School District Board of Trustees, the majority there, not all of them, the majority. I am very upset with the administration. I am kind of upset with some of the principals out there as well. And you know who you are. Because let me tell y'all principals, if y'all think that I don't hear the, uh, it better not come back to Erasmo thing, and you are greater fools than Minerva Peña. And I'm very ashamed that a lot of our principals out there, not I mean, some of our principals out there, you know, in order to try and attempt to appease uh, an uncaring superintendent and his cronies from Edinburgh, with the only reasoning being an opportunity to possibly move up the ladder like Rose Longoria did by kissing Minerva's butt, then, que lástima. But let me tell you something, guys, and something that we've learned in the political world. Elections have consequences. Elections have consequences. And at times those consequences are will be harsh and severe, especially to those individuals who caused harm, to cause the anxiety, caused stress to my people at the district, to my students, and to the members of my community. So again, guys, again, this election is important because you all will decide the direction of this new board at least for the next 2 years. At least for the next 2 years. One of the things that we did learn today, Frankie, that they did have a principals meeting. I think it was yesterday they had a principals meeting. I'm not sure. They had a principals meeting yesterday, and they had independent staff meeting. Our principals have a staff meeting with a lot of our staff out there throughout the district, and the news was not great. It was not great. What have you learned, Frankie, in regards to what's going on at the district? What? Ah,
Sorry,
rookie.
rookie mistake, rookie. um, guys, it's apparent that for far too long, our administration, our district, has neglected our special needs department for far too long. And one thing that I do want to touch base on is how they have responded to our special needs department, our students. recently there was a survey that was conducted, and in the district there are 5,700 special needs students. Out of those 5,700 students, only 1,100 parents stated that they want to send their children back to the brick and mortar schools. That accounts for roughly about 30%. 30% of parents want to send their children back uh, to the schools. The majority of the concerns was COVID. Many feel that COVID, and rightfully so, that we have not yet had the last encounter with COVID. This is something that we're still dealing with, and will probably continue to be dealing with for the very near future. The problem is, Erasmo, is that we have not, as a district, equipped our special needs department with the resources needed during this pandemic. We have heard time and time again how this board has said that from the very beginning, from back in March and April, they have done everything possible for our school district. They have knocked at every door. They have lifted every rock to make sure that things are in order for distant learning and for going back into the classrooms. One of the issues going back is that there is not enough resources. There are not enough equipment. And by that I mean there is not enough plexiglass available in our campuses. We have diags who are having to carry, get this, diags in the elementaries are assigned 2 schools. Middle school and high school, they're assigned 1 school. The diags in elementary, guys, they have to carry around their own plexiglass. They have to carry around their own PPEs because certain administrators at the campuses do not want to issue them out because they're only issuing them out for their employees on their campuses. So again, this is the problem that we're dealing with. The diags are having to carry around their equipment with them because we do not have enough. Now, mind you, what happens if, and I hate to say this, but what happens if that equipment is infected and they're moving it around from place to place? That's something that is of great concern to me. Also, the evaluations. We are trying to catch up. The special needs department is rushing because there is a deadline, guys, of October the 30th. If October the 30th evaluations are not done, the 3-year evaluations, which is needed to catch up, is not completed by October the 30th, the district will lose funds. If the evaluations are not received by this certain date, the federal government will not be giving BISD the funds allocated. So what are we doing? We're having them rushing. The DAGs are doing everything possible. The initial evaluation that the DAGs perform, they get $600 because of a grant that has been issued. But they're trying to catch up because we had the county not allow them to perform these evaluations. So again, as a department, as a administration, guys, we have failed them. We are not giving them, Erasmo, the proper equipment needed to be able for them to perform their duties. And it alarms me because at the board meeting, Erasmo, the superintendent said that there was only 1 or 2 complaints. We saw how AOBE is around 600-700 signatures for having a voting for no confidence for our superintendent. He made it seem at the board meeting at Erasmo, and there were people clapping, stating, "Oh, there's people criticizing, but they're in the minority. It's only a few who are complaining." But we are not taking care of our own. The diags have to walk around, put the plexiglass in their car, in their vehicles, and travel from school to school. It doesn't seem right to me that on the September the 21st, we are so adamant on returning Erasmo, but yet we do not have the proper equipment for them to have the assurance of saying, hey, I'm going into a safe environment and I will be performing my duties without a care, without a worry of me contracting this virus. And that really scares me, Erasmo, because we are potentially putting them at risk, and we shouldn't do that, because the safety of our staff and our students, guys, should be our number one concern, and they have failed.
Well, in regards to the principals meeting that they had yesterday, one thing that was very, very clear and very pointed out by principals and by individuals who have heard it from principals today was that there was never no plan. There was never a plan to continue with distance learning. There really, really wasn't. Distance learning right now is more of anything still on the back burner. Their goal has always been to get ready to bring students back onto campus as soon as possible. Now, with that said, one of the things that a friend of mine shared on the page earlier was, something that Miss Miller alluded to here. Uh, what is happening to Lopez is going to open or not. Lopez is open right now. There's a lot of the schools, but I know what Miss Miller is referring to. There's a lot of the schools out there that should not be open. There's a lot of the schools out there that should have had deep cleaning because individuals that are coming onto campus are leaving campus testing positive. What about Bestedo and the Rona outbreak? Are the administrators working from home and the custodian maintenance classified? They are not. And let me tell you guys, something that is very, very concerning is they are not reporting this. There are no press releases. There are no notes out there being placed on the web page or on their social media page in regards to the different outbreaks. And let me tell you guys, I use the word outbreaks because it's spilled from Minerva's lips. She leaked it during the meeting. If you go back during the meeting, you heard her say there was an outbreak at Bestedo, something that I have been saying for days now, if not a week already. It was right after the principals meeting that they had at Veterans, where they had a face-to-face meeting. The principal at Bestedo turned out positive. Now the assistant principal is also positive, and it is stated that there's 6 or 7 other individuals at Bestedo that are also positive. There has been no accounting of it. There has been no reports on it, and the schools have not shut down. They have not shut down to disinfect and to clean with those $2 million machines that supposedly they have. They haven't. Now, this is staff, minimal staff, going onto campuses now. They are planning to bring all staff back onto campus on the 21st of this month. All staff are to report to campus on the 21st of this month. And folks, you may be a healthy individual. It doesn't make you immune to the Rona. But my greatest concern is for the individuals that that have underlying conditions. And you know what? My even greater concern, or for my staff, my personnel that are expecting children, that are dealing with a pregnancy. I mean, how little of heart do you have to have for your people? Sitting in an office by yourself, sending individuals onto the campuses to a possible death sentence. It's just a very, very sad situation. And very, very, very sad situation. And, they get offended every time you call them out on their lies, but they lie. And let me tell you, all this thing about sending people back onto campuses, it's just a power move. We don't need all those people on campuses. Dare I say, we don't need any people on campuses. No one should be going back onto campus. No one. Because it's a progression, folks. We had a custodian pass away last week. We've had several custodians pass away. Food nutrition service people. We had all these individuals who were working throughout the summer who are now passing away or are fighting coronavirus in the ICU at the hospitals. Now we started to see office staff. Now we're starting to see principals. And let me tell you guys, if a vaccine is not found soon, with what this administration is doing, we're not only going to see principals, we're going to start to see teachers, diagnosticians, counselors, our nurses test positive. And then we're going to have our special education students, our athletes, our band students, our fine arts students coming out positive and struggling with the virus. I mean, there's a clear examples of different schools throughout the nation already shutting their doors again. Teachers that have died 3 days after returning to class.
Erasmo, what's your take? I wanted to ask you yesterday. What's your take on the district reaching out to Senator Lucio regarding the governor? Is there by any chance that the district will be able to? We have heard, and you have spoken previously in regards to San Antonio ISD, who filed the lawsuit. What are the options moving forward? What I understood was that we wanted to get Senator Lucio involved to speak with the governor. He wrote him a letter that was read at the board meeting. What options do we have? Because the way they're making it seem is the only option is to open the schools back September 29th. Is it financials? Is it the finances that the superintendent is worried about, and he's asking for the governor to forego to what's the word not penalize the district for not returning back to school? What are your thoughts on that? Or is this just a simple way of saying, hey, we try to get the senator involved, but to no avail, so we have to come back? What's your take on that?
Well, first of all, this board and this superintendent, they work on deception, folks. They work on deception. They deceive you. They do not tell you the complete truth. When the superintendent mentioned at the meeting, as well as Minerva, Philip, Little Eddie, and all these people that are patting each other on their back, saying, we've been fighting this, we've been on this since day one. It's not true, folks. It's not true. Now, look, guys, very, very clear. When they mentioned that they had been in contact with the state senator in regards to, possibly expanding, throughout the fall semester distance learning, it made it appear, folks, that they had been talking with the state senator for months, for weeks, that it had been a constant communication with him. That's a lie. It's not true. It's not true. The conversation that they had with the state senator, Senator Eddie Lucio Jr., was on Wednesday, the day before the meeting. I know this for a fact because I was at the BISD building. I was there when Philip walked in to the building, and he shared with me that they were going to have a conversation with Senator Lucio Jr., State Senator Lucio Jr., to see what he could do, to see if there's anything they can do. It was the only conversation they had. And what gets to me, guys, is that they lie, blatantly lie. And they use this tactic of deception by not telling the complete truth. There is no transparency. None. None. Now, does anyone truly believe that if they contacted Senator Lucio on Wednesday, that on Thursday they were going to be ready with information in regards to not coming back the fall semester? Come on, guys. Oh, but it has supposed to be a negative. No, it's the truth. They just struggle with the truth. Guys, there's nothing that can be done by swapping letters or making phone calls at the last minute, guys. There's nothing. Months ago now, a month, weeks ago, 5, 6 weeks ago, the superintendent of San Antonio, Texas said, hell no, we won't go. I will not put my staff, I will not put my students in harm's way. And if you threaten to take away my funds, we will see you in court. That is leadership. And let me tell you something. That superintendent makes $150,000 less than ours. $150,000 less than ours. The superintendent from Houston, Texas, makes 50 some $1,000 less than ours with 4 times the population. Superintendent in Dallas, 50 some $1,000 less than ours. So look, guys, and let's say, okay, let's say we're paying them $413,000. If we were getting our money's worth, so be it. The problem is we're getting duped because we're not only paying for one superintendent, we're paying for 2 deputies and for 7 AAs. We're paying for 10 people at the top when we should only have 3. And what that does, folks, it takes away from our students' resources. So it shouldn't surprise people when these folks say there's no money for masks for our nurses. There's no money. Sorry. It shouldn't surprise our people when they get a 3% raise while the superintendent gets $13,000 raise. It shouldn't surprise people that our board attorney earns $325,000 a year.
Wow.
For 2-3 meetings a month. Shouldn't surprise us, folks. But again, what this pandemic has brought to light is how inefficient, how uncaring, how unsympathetic these individuals are. Guys, I'm going to say this. I spent the greater part of this afternoon talking to people who are very, very concerned, talking to staff, principals, teachers, nurses, parents who are very, very concerned. And you know what this corrupt board and this superintendent have done to ease that concern? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Let me tell you, I shared with you all, guys. I shared with you all that I know I don't mean I mean everyone on campus, Maria. You know that. Sorry. 17 and 19 have resigned AOB signed AOB's vote to no confidence against the district. Yeah, and they responded apparently to one of the individuals that wrote on the AOBE vote of no confidence, which I'm very, very surprised that they did. Este, uh, let me answer these quick questions. How many signatures are needed? 14,000, but not signatures, votes. 14,000 votes, super mommy. That's what it's needed. Because after November, everything changes. Safety first. If there is no plan to continue distance learning, then why were $5.5 million taken a general budget for COVID-19 purposes? Very simple for Sylvia. Because if something was very apparent at these past two board meetings, the regular meeting and the special called board meeting, Sylvia's running the show. Sylvia's protecting her dogs. Sylvia is running the show. And the monies that were allotted and voted on by this corrupt board are for Sylvia to use. And let me tell you guys, I don't care if you're out there supporting little Eddie. Little Eddie needs to go. He was appointed by this person and by this corrupt board majority. He needs to go. I don't care if you say that he's a police officer. I don't know what type of police officer he was, but let me tell you, he has turned a blind eye to the corruption, to the backroom dealings of this board. I mean, he's still visiting vendors, and I'm going to prove it to you because his campaign finance report, the first weeks of October, are going to show the vendors that he's already visited. And let me tell you, if he decides to exclude the vendors from his list, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So to my opponent as well, to Ms. Garza in the Frankie's race as well, if you opt to not disclose how Limebarger, how Esparza and Garza, how Schneider Electric have given you money, there's more than one way to skin a cat, folks. So good luck. Good luck with trying to hide. It's not going to work. A 796 was signed because I know for a fact and I can prove that you've already received money from them. Am I wrong to think that the issue is not about if we should go back, but rather if we go back and have an outbreak, this community neither has the healthcare workers? You're exactly right. Hospital capacity, medical equipment to deal with the outbreak. Well, Maribel, it's still a novel virus, and we just don't know. You know, we just don't know. And a lot of and we've had Joe on here, we've had other individuals on here that have stated that they're recovering. Recovering doesn't necessarily mean what a lot of people really think recovering means. See, that's part of the issue. What does recover? And I've been saying it for months. What does recovery really mean? Dr. Cantu said in meeting last night that the plan for outbreaks is to close the school for 24 hours and then go in to clean and then come back by the third day. It's
They that
stupid.
they themselves that Osmo stated on at the board meeting that in these past few days there's been over 100 Brownsville residents who have died from this virus. Hidalgo County reported 26 today. This is something that we're still dealing with. So again, for the district to overlook that and say, "Oh, back to school as usual," there is no guarantee, guys. There is no guarantee that this leadership right now could give our community by going back, sending their kids back into the classrooms. Unfortunately, it's all about finances. One would hope that health would outweigh money, but I guess in a perfect world, right? But that is what we're dealing with, guys. We're dealing with an administration that is more worried about money than people's lives. We have previously mentioned how there's been 5, 6, 7 BISD employees who have died from this virus, and they have yet to even acknowledge, to even say moment of silence because this individual passed away due to COVID. They don't want to acknowledge that. You know why? Because it will go against their rhetoric. It will go against everything that they've been planning back since March and April of going back into the classrooms. Again, we have a board president, Madam President, who said that it's a hoax, that this is going to go in a few weeks. It's already been going on 6, 7 months, and we're still dealing with this, and we're not out of the woodworks yet. So that is what we're dealing with. Unfortunately, finances will always outweigh what is True. What is important, and that should be our health. But again, how can we fix that? We can fix that in November. We're gonna need each and everybody to come out and vote, because this election, like no other, is gonna be very important. It's gonna affect a lot of lives. But if we're satisfied with this administration, then so be it. But if we want to see something different, if we want to see individuals in positions that are gonna be about the community, we need a vote. But it's only, guys, only upon us.
Um, so, what do you suggest, Queso? Very simple. No one should be back on campus. No one should be back on campus. We live in a technologically advanced era where everything can be done remotely. Almost everything can be done remotely. And with that said, no one should go back onto campus. I've been consistent with the message. No one should go back on campus. We need to thin out the herd in regards to the upper administration up there because they have failed to serve us. We need to weed out all those damn positions that are made up where individuals were given the job. Look at man, this whole thing has been a PR nightmare, and it's been a PR nightmare for the district because we don't have a public information officer out there that is qualified. We have Drew's friend at the public information office, her little buddy that got hired only because it's her little buddy. Doesn't even speak Spanish for goodness sakes. Goodness gracious. In a town where 90 some percent, if not more than 90%, 90 some percent are Hispanic and you have a public information officer that doesn't speak Spanish, how does that make sense to anyone? So what I suggest is everyone start working from home. Everyone start studying from home. Shut down our campuses. Make sure that the air filters, the air vents, that they're not causing not only coronavirus but other diseases, airborne diseases out there. Guys, we got to start putting our money where our it really matters, and that's on our personnel and back in our students, and stop putting it in Sylvia Atkinson's pocket. It's as simple as that. And if need be, Chris, take it to court. If they want to threaten the district with taking away the funds, take them to court. Goodness gracious, they take people for court for other stuff. Take them to court. Simple. I think they should keep all staff at home and all the kids. Me myself have a heart condition, lung disease, and I have to work. It's a very scary for me. I'm praying for you, Stella. BISD on the verge of losing so many caring, highly qualified teachers because of having all teachers going back. Teachers have received the highest designation in the state. Teachers that are out there delivering supplies to kids and planning lessons till 2 a.m. You are 100% correct, Cynthia. But again, I'm going to tell my teachers out there. I'm going to tell everyone out there. Please be patient. Please be patient. And we're only 54 days away. We're only 54 days away. Be patient, but work this campaign half as hard as I work campaigns. That's all I ask. Give me 50%. That's all I ask. Teachers, librarians, Maria, office staff, food nutritional services, security guards, police officers, everyone at the district, parents, work this campaign 50% as hard as I will run this campaign. And there is no way that we will not take back the district from this corrupt board. Majority on the board. Why are other districts allowed to come back in November? Because they prepared. They prepared. We had no plan. We have no plan. The plan that we have was copy pasted from Houston ISD. And I've showed it. It was copy pasted from Houston ISD. We had no plan. We have no plan. San Pedro backs the
What,
fabulous three.
Erasmo, what I liked about our neighboring school districts, and again, it's always the smaller school districts giving us, or leading by example. What I like about our neighboring school districts, guys, is that San Benito, Los Fresnos, and Harlingen, they barely started this week. So this extends their 4 to 5 weeks of distant learning into early to mid October. So that gives them a few more weeks, guys, to be able to better assess the situation. You know who they're going to be looking at? BISD. I feel as if, and I hate to say this, and it might sound wrong, but I feel as if BISD, guys, is going to be the guinea pigs. These neighboring school districts, San Benito, Los Fresnos, and Harlingen, are going to be looking towards Brownsville and say, how did they do in their soft opening? What was the outcome? What was the percentage of students that came back? Did they get infected? Was there an outbreak? That's what I'm worried about. These school districts took it upon themselves and said, you know what? This is serious. Let's extend the start of the school year. Let's try to move it back as much as possible. Again, there is talks about the flu season coming around. We all know there's talks about a second wave. Our medical experts have been warning us, and they have told us that, hey, it could possibly be even worse than the first wave that we got. So these neighboring school districts at Erasmo, I feel, obviously are smart because they extended the start of school, which gave them a few weeks later into the academic year. And BISD, unfortunately, is going to be the guinea pig. We are going to be the example. And I wish this does not happen. I say this with all sincerity. I wish this did not happen. But what it's going to be a black eye on BISD if we have a soft opening, if we open up, period, only to shut down due to an outbreak. That is going to be horrible PR wise, health wise. Again, so I commend the smaller school districts for taking the initiative, extending the start of the school year, and allowing them as much possible to assess enough time to assess the big picture moving forward.
What Vale says is very true. You know, even now, and someone asked the question last night, even now, we didn't have the health department expert out there telling us about COVID 19. We had Dr. Cantu attempt to read off a slide. They have no concept or clue about our culture and our people because they have absolutely no vested interest in us. They don't. Our teachers have proven that they can teach remotely even without BISD providing the resources needed. 100%. 98.6 Spanish speaking. It's crazy. But we have no public information officer that speaks Spanish. Good evening, guys. I heard that there's a lawyer on standby, so when they go back to school, if anyone needs to end up at the hospital due to the virus or dies, they will sue. I've been hearing a lot about that, and let me tell you, it's not going to be good. Thank you for the amazing cookies. You, Olivo, Frankie, and Carlos are in the front yard showing my support. If there are any kids in school, you guys will when will you send kids home once you take office? Again, my stance, no one should be on campus. Will not change after November the 3rd. Word on football season for BISD, October the 5th. October the 5th, Alex. She sounded like a tool. They are tools. My brother, until people start calling out TEA for their Bravo Sierra, will the pressure to send the kids back to school. Yeah. Fortunately, the worst is yet to come. COVID and flu combo, no bueno. 100%. People need to register to vote. 100%. Erasmo, was El Tapón campaigning with La Pingüina at the administrator's meeting today? Yes, he was. And again, it's the kind of crap that they could get away with because they think that they're untouchable. That is how desperate El Tapón is. That he has to go on to a principal's meeting an administrator's meeting in order to try and pitch his campaign. Let me tell you guys, El Tapón was appointed by Sylvia Atkinson. El Tapón should never have been on that board. Kevin, hola. So after signing the AOB petition, what's next? We register people to come out and vote. We make sure that everyone in our household, all our friends, all our family know who to vote for. On early voting weeks, we make sure that everyone goes out to vote. Frankie, great point about Brownsville being a guinea pig for other school districts. Unfortunate. Coaches received. I truly do not look forward to the flu season. Me either. What does that mean? Good evening, Erasmo. Good evening. We will open the windows. Yeah, it was so ridiculous. But guys, this is what I thought was so funny. This is how much they don't know our schools. All they will have to do is, we're gonna have to open the windows. Is she
Like,
stupid? I mean, really, is she stupid, or does she just not know the district? They do not know our district. All they had to do was do a walk around our campuses and know that I'm going to say 80%, 90% of our classrooms do not have windows. But that was a solution from the doctor who's preaching about COVID 19 and what to do in regards to COVID 19. She's just as bad as Minerva. Open the windows and it'll magically disappear. Lord Farquaad. If you don't vote, you're supporting the ratas, 100%. There's too many people affected, Grandkeeper. Some classrooms don't have windows. Yeah. Hannah has no windows. Some windows are very old, don't open. Exactamente. All the elementary school windows are sealed shut since the 80s. 100%. Guys, at the start of all this pandemic, well, no, back in May, uh, you know, I shared with you that the superintendent had said that teachers were lazy. Teachers did not want to work. That they go to the mall, they go to HEB, they go to Walmart. If they go to HEB, Walmart, then they could come and work. They have to come and work. They got to stop being lazy. Well, it's not only the superintendent that thinks that, guys. Last night, his deputy shared that principals and upper administration that they thought that my special ed teachers are negligent, Frankie. And a lot of people were questioning if that is what had been said. Well, I don't want people to question anymore. Let's hear it together.
Grade, eighth grade, and 12th grade, and the special education students of all grade levels. Because of the needs and talking to principals and administrators, they felt that we could not neglect the special education students any longer. And
So, after speaking with principals and administrators, they determined that they could not neglect our special ed students any longer. Uh, what is that implying? What is that saying? Have our special needs students been neglected by the special ed teachers during this pandemic? During the last 6 weeks of last year? Frankie?
this is something that we've always known, that the special needs department have always been overlooked. We have our student athletes, we have our top 10% that always get the recognition, the praise, uh, while our special needs department and students are overlooked. This is this goes to show that they themselves, leadership themselves, is admitting to it, Erasmo, that yes, they have been neglected. And to our special needs department. I'm not throwing the blame on y'all. Y'all go above and beyond of what is required. And one thing I do want to stress is Miss Lipa. I honestly feel that she goes far and beyond, and she cares about the health of the staff, and she prides herself in doing everything possible. We have heard and talked about it, Asmo. Of one of the main things has been technology. We have a lot of outdated resources that we expect our special needs teachers and paras to fulfill the curriculum, and that is not possible. I commend Miss Lipa for ordering tablets, technology, and doing her very best to make sure that our teachers and our students receive the latest equipment. And that is one of the instances, Erasmo, of our special needs department being overlooked. We are allocating monies away from special needs department into other areas. We are depleting the finances of this department. That is one of the reasons why I'm running, to make sure that I focus, and I have my colleagues on the board make them aware that, hey, this is my focus and my attention will be with this department. And Erasmo, I wouldn't say criticized, but somebody brought it up to my attention and said, you know what, Frankie, you shouldn't just narrow down your focus on the special needs department, because you're gonna neglect everybody else. And you have to think about the voters. You have to think about everybody as a whole. And I said, you know what? Everybody else gets the recognition. Everybody else gets the attention. The ones who are always year in and year out neglected is the special needs department. And that is my focus, and that is my platform. I want to focus on them. I do not want them to be neglected the way Dr. Trevino, if I'm not mistaken, mentioned and alluded to that was a fact. That is the reason why I'm running. And if that costs me an election because I narrow down and really focus on this department, so be it. I'm running because this is something that means a lot to me. I want to make this department shine. So you are correct, Erasmo. Leadership at the district has acknowledged that this department has been overlooked for far too long. Also, another issue that I want to bring up is the lack of paras. These teachers and paraprofessionals are stretched thin, Erasmo. We need two or three, possibly even four paras in a classroom. We have students with special needs who need help cleaning, who need help eating, who have anger problems, are BIs, who scratch and kick and bite. And you know what? We only have one para for a room. We are stretching them thin, Erasmo. We are doing a disservice to this department by not giving them the resources, technology, by not giving them the manpower, paraprofessionals. And we expect them to excel, and we expect them to do what is required and more. That's not acceptable. It's unfortunate, Erasmo, that leadership has finally acknowledged after how many years. And again, I commend Miss Lipa. I have heard nothing but great things about her for doing everything possible. But the blame is not on her, Erasmo. I have nothing but good things to say, and I've heard good things about Miss Lipa. The ones that I blame is leadership. The ones that I blame are the board members, because the buck stops with them, and they have failed our special needs department, and more importantly, they have failed our special needs students and parents, and that is not acceptable.
We should have online classes first semester, then go back second semester. Yes, Ulysses. Good to see you again, Papa. Say hi to the family for me, Papa. God bless you, Papa. In the meeting, it was said that they didn't even think that school nurses were healthcare workers until someone there said that they were certified nurses. They are at the front line. Yes, they definitely need N95 masks. Our school special education teachers have gone way above and beyond the call of duty. They have been going to homes to make sure that the kids are connected and have needs met 100%. Let me tell you, and some of the most amazing stories out there, guys. because look, guys, again, and not taking away from anything that our teachers do, not taking away anything from our librarians do, Maria, not taking away from anyone does. I mean, everyone does an amazing, amazing job. Again, this all was just thrown on us. But let me tell you, I've heard some amazing stories in regards to some of our special ed teachers that that stand there in the middle of the yard, to have that separation, that social distancing, which now to this district isn't important anymore, because now a lot of my classrooms out there are being told that they're going to have face to face some 30 to 40 students, in a classroom. It's unacceptable. But now social distancing is out the window. It's not important to these people anymore. So anyway, a lot of our special ed teachers and a lot of our other personnel dealing with our special needs students, have gone to the homes and try and affect the lesson, at a distance. It's not easy, folks. So for these individuals to come out here and say that our special ed teachers and our staff have been neglectful of our students, it's just uncalled for, man. Again, it's how little they know our people. Special teachers have triple the workload. They do all the general ed does and tons of yes, yes. Special ed teachers did not get new laptops. No, very unfortunate. The board, yo, hey, my name. We are held liable for all our sped babies. We are bound to those IEPs. This is why the contingency plans are vital, and that is why we demand that we get some type of plans. We have nothing. Erasmo, Dr. Ray sends his regards. Send my regards too. I think he knows that I've been a little bit negative on him. My son is a special ed student still, and his special ed teacher, Ms. Estrella, and Ms. Caballero special ed Paris stay with my son after their working hours. Listen to this, guys. Helping my son complete his assignments. What do you mean lazy? Last year, the sped ed teachers and regular ed teachers would stand outside my house to help my son with his packet. That's how amazing our personnel are. And this superintendent and his deputies continue and continue and continue to belittle, to degrade, to treat as if they were insignificant individuals. Great point, Frankie. Thank you, Diana. Well said, Frankie. Cynthia, our special education teachers are wonderful. They go above and beyond. Frankie, good for you, Frankie. Our special population needs you. Preach. Special ed teachers know how to modify and accommodate. We will make it work, and with what is given to us, even if we have to spend our own. Yes, and that happens so much, Maida. In last night's meeting, the super implied that the BISD nurses were not health professionals. No respect, folks. No respect whatsoever. Thank you, Frankie, for wanting to improve our special education department. We need more paras in the special ed classroom. Will every student have Chromebooks by the time we go back? No. We have moved everything digital paperless so that we will need to be able to have access during class for their work. It's going to be a mess. I do not agree that the special needs students are being failed. There are a lot of resources for them. We have amazing individuals. Parents with special needs are pulled out to do cover regular classes. Special are the elementary levels. Minerva Peña, Eddie Garcia, and Philip Cowan have failed our special education teachers and our beautiful angels, our special education students, 100%. And they want to send teachers back because they can't find technology. Everything is back ordered, and because they started ordering very, very late. Erasmo, if low count of students go to campus, will BID have to send them all home to continue having in-persons like that? No, they will not be able to, because once they open the door, they open the door to a Pandora's box. They cannot go back. But they're not going to have much of a choice. I just do not see many outbreaks happening throughout our campuses. Our special ed kids that are in the units going to require a wear mask. No masks, no social distancing. what can I say? I love my kids, and I know for a fact that your kids love you. Frankie, the hour's up, and it's Friday. Frankie, last word.
It's been a long week. Excited for this weekend. Uh, gotta gotta hit the road tomorrow. I'll be all throughout our city. Looking forward to dropping off shirts, signs, cookies, uh, making new friends. This campaign has been amazing. Sometimes it feels overwhelming, but I love every minute of it. Thank you so much, guys, for your time, your patience, and your love. Continue sending me those messages. It's always fun. It's always fun to just to hear from our community. It's very humbling to know that people out there, they're tired of this administration and they want people that they could connect with and they could entrust with the big responsibility of allowing us as a community to be part of the process of being on the BISD school board. I I'm not very good with promises, but I can guarantee you that once we're on that board, we as a community will be part of that process. We will be taking the decisions necessary to bring about the positive change that our community so desperately needs. I am thankful that you all have given me an amazing response and an amazing opportunity to take that next step together. Thank you so much, guys. You guys have a great night. Erasmo Castro tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. See you guys there, guys. You guys have a good, happy Friday. Be safe out there.
Guys, I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I'm actually going to try and get some sleep. I was invited to do something with Fangs, and I have accepted the invitation.
Wow.
I,
GPI.
I, well, not that type of Fangs. I accept all invitations that come my way. Sorry, my message are being cut short for some reason. There's a glitch on Facebook tonight. Sorry, Vale. Not your fault. The ones that have guys, stay strong. Be good to each other, and please continue to be good to me. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. God bless.